Hi, fourth grade. Do you want to work on a chapter 12 review? I know you do. I do. I can't wait. Let's get started. So, we're going to go to markup here so I can write all over this so I can make a mess if I want to. We're going to split this chapter review into two parts. I'm going to do the first part. Mr. Perry's going to do the second part. And it'll be two separate days because this is a big review. It's for the whole chapter. So let's get started. Whose is this name? I'm going to put Jude. This is Jude's chapter 12 review. Mrs. Miller wants to estimate the width of the steps in front of her house. Select the best benchmark for her to use. Now, remember, a benchmark is, using an everyday thing, a non-measurement item to help you make an estimate about a measurement. So, if we're talking about the width of the steps in the front of her house, I don't know that a fingertip makes any sense. That seems silly. Or the thickness of a dime? I don't know about that one either, because steps are a lot bigger than that. The width of a license plate. How far she can walk in 20 minutes. Well, that one seems silly. That's usually a good benchmark for a mile. A fingertip is a good benchmark maybe for an inch. And then the thickness of a dime is a good benchmark for a millimeter. I dare say that the width of a license plate, that's a good benchmark for feet. And I think that's what you would probably want to use to measure the width of steps in front of your house. The other ones just don't seem to work. Okay, here's one that's go deeper. Do not be afraid, Lexi. Franco played computer chess for 3 hours. Leon played computer chess for 150 minutes. Compare the times spent playing computer chess and complete the sentence. Well, the sentence says, blank played for blank longer than blank. Okay, well, that means we're going to have to subtract when we're done and see who played longer. Franco for 3 hours and Leon for 150 minutes. Now, those are two different measurements, so I'm going to have to change one of them. Probably easiest to change hours to minutes. There's 60 minutes in 1 hour. I'll make a little chart. Look at this. 60 minutes for 1 hour. 2 hours would be 120 minutes. 3 hours would be 180 minutes. So it looks like Franco played longer than Leon. He played for 120 or 180. If I do 180 minus 150, that's a difference of 30 minutes. So it looks to me that Franco played for 30 minutes longer than Leon. Again, I took, one of these was already given to us, 150 minutes for Leon. The other one I just converted into minutes. 3 hours I converted into 180 minutes. And then I subtracted them to see what the difference was. Select the measures that are equal. Mark all that apply. Well, this is one that I'm going to leave for you, and we can talk about during our Zoom meeting. So this one I'm leaving for you, and if you're doing this ahead of time, then we can talk about it. And I'm even going to leave this page all marked up just like this. And I'm going to see that I left it for you, and then we can go over it and see what you got. But Jackie is making 6 quarts of lemonade. This is number 4. Jackie says she made 3 pints of lemonade. Explain Jackie's error and find the correct number of pints of lemonade. Well, we got 6 quarts. And we want to know how many pints that is. Well, if you think about your gallon man, there are 2 cups in a pint, and there are 2 pints in a quart. So that's 2 pints in a quart. And if we want to know how many pints this is, we'd actually have to multiply 6 quarts times 2 pints, and we would get 12 pints. So 6 quarts is actually equal to 12 pints. Jackie's saying she made 3 pints of lemonade. She's definitely off on that. And I think maybe she divided 6 by 2. She took her 6 quarts and she divided by 2. But what she was supposed to do is multiply by 2 because there's 2 pints in a quart. That's an easy mistake to make. But so Jackie divided by 2. Instead of multiplying. And then it says find the correct number of pints. Well, the correct number of pints is 12. So it's actually 12 pints. Oh, that first page was easy enough. Good job, Jude. It's Jude's page. Jude's going to have to do number 3, though, whenever we're done here. So I hit done, and I'm done. And I think I can go on. Oh, here we go. Here's the next page. I'm going to go to Edit, Markup. All right, new page, new color. We're on green. All right, so we've got, looks like some tally tables here. Josh practices gymnastics each day after school. The data show the lengths of time Josh practiced gymnastics for 2 weeks. Part A, make a tally table and line plot to show the data. Wow, this is a big problem here. So we got, let's see how many days he practiced in 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It sounds like maybe he only practiced on weekdays because there's 5 weekdays and 2 weekend days for each week, and he practiced for 2 weeks. So maybe that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That'd be my guess, but it doesn't really matter. We just need to organize this data into a tally table and a line plot. Tally table first, though. That's easy enough. How many different types of data do we have? I have a fourth. That looks to be the smallest one. 1/4. And we also have 1/2. And these are hours, so 1/4 of an hour, 1/2 of an hour. Then we also have 3/4 of an hour. And we have 1 hour. So in a tally table, I'm just going to mark how many of each we have. How many days did you do 1/4? Looks like just these two. 1, 2. 2 days for 1/4, so I'll put 2 tally marks. Half an hour? He only did 1 day that was a half an hour. So I'll just put 1 tally mark there. 3/4 of an hour? I see 1, 2, 3 of them. So I can put 3 tally marks. And 1 hour, that's his most frequent practice time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 for that one. So we have, and I like to check too. Remember I said that there was 10 pieces of data? Let's make sure we have these add up to be 10. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're all good. We have the right amount here that matches with the amount here. So that's good. Now I just need to make a line plot. So So make this one the 1/4. I'm going to use that little line as the fraction bar. That's easy. 1/2, 3/4, and then just 1 hour. All right, well, we're going to make, in a line plot, we're going to make x's to represent the number of days that he practiced that particular amount of time, and 1/4 was 2. So instead of tally marks, we're putting, oh, that's a mess. Clean that up. What a slob. It's Jude's work. It's Jude's paper. It must be Jude's fault. 1/4, instead of tally marks, we're putting x's. Can I have my ink back, please? Oh, I got to change it back to the pen. Okay. X, because there's 2 days that he practiced 1/4. 1/2, there's only 1, so only get 1 x. 3/4, there's 3, so he gets 3 x's. And then 1 hour, he did that 4 days. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a nice looking tally chart. Oh, that's the line plot. Well, it's a nice looking tally chart too, but this is a fabulous line plot. And we should have a title for the line plot. We have a title up here: time practicing gymnastics in hours, time practicing gymnastics. Guess what? I'm going to steal the same title: time practicing that's kind of sloppy gymnastics. Cool. All right, so we got that's taking some data. That's taking some raw data up here and really organizing it. We organized it with a tally chart, and we further organized it with our line plot. Looks pretty good. Part B says, explain how you used the tally table to label the numbers and plot the x's. Well, I definitely know what I did. I remember talking about it just a moment ago. I looked to see how many tally marks there was for each time, and I used the corresponding amount of x's. So let's see if I can write that in a reasonable way here. I'll say I matched x's to the number, that's a mess, number of tallies. And I put them on the chart. It's, it's a pretty easy thing to do at that point. Once you have your tallies, then it makes it easy to do the x's because you're putting the same amount. Pretty cool. That's an easy one. Part C, what's the difference between the longest time and the shortest time Josh spent playing gymnastics? Ooh, that's easy. His longest time was 1 hour. His shortest time was 1/4 of an hour. Now I'm going to know what I know, or I'm going to use what I know about minutes and hours to really figure this one out. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. And 1/4 of an hour, that's just 1/4 of the way around the clock. That's 15 minutes. So the difference between 60 and 15 is 45. And so what's the difference between the longest time and shortest time Josh spent practicing gymnastics? Well, I got 45 minutes. It wants to know how much of an hour that would be. Well, I would have to take, in that case, 45 minutes is right, but it apparently wants me to put a fraction. Well, the difference between 1 and 1/4 is 3/4. So I can put 3/4 of an hour. All right. Not too tricky. I'm going to move this guy up here where he's out of the way. All right, what do we got here? Select the correct word to complete the sentence. Juan brings a water bottle with him to soccer practice. A full water bottle holds 1 liter 1 or 10 milliliters or 1 meter. Even though it's terribly difficult, I'm going to leave this one for you guys to do, and we can take a look at that during our live session on Zoom. So you got number 6 and whatever the other one was. Move this guy back down here. I'm going to hit done because it's going to save my work so I can revisit it when we do the live. And I'm going to hit done again. And I'll scooch over here. Here we're on the third page, page 711 of the chapter review. Going to mark it up as well. New page, new color. I ain't messing around. We're going with red. This is serious now. Write the symbol that compares the weights accurately. Ooh, weights. This is cool. Ounces and pounds. Pounds and tons. Well, this is another one of those ones I'm going to let you do, but I'm going to remind you that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound, and LB, by the way, is that abbreviation for pound. So it's 16 ounces in 1 pound, and it has pounds and tons. There are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. And I think knowing that, me reminding you of that's going to make number 7 really easy for you. I know. I'm giving you all these ones to do, and maybe it's time for me to do another one. Probably a good idea. Dwayne bought 5 yards of wrapping paper. How many inches of wrapping paper did he buy? Ooh, well, 5 yards. So really what we're going to find out here is 5 yards equals how many inches? Well, 1 yard is 36 inches. So if I take 36 times 5, that's going to tell me how many inches are in 5 yards. So pretty simple, 36 times 5, that's 30. And I got 5 times 15, 180. He's got 100, Dwayne has 180 inches of wrapping paper. I hope that's enough, because if Dwayne is buying me presents, I want lots of presents and I want them to be big. Dwayne might need more wrapping paper. I don't know. Let me clean some of this up now. Maybe I can get that little multiplication problem out of the way. All right. A sack of potatoes. A sack of potatoes weighs 14 pounds, 9 ounces. After Wendy makes potato salad for a picnic, the sack weighs 9 pounds, 14 ounces. What is the weight of the potatoes Wendy used for the potato salad? Write the numbers to show the correct subtraction. So this is one of those ones where they give you the numbers over here in the tiles, and we're supposed to put them over here. I think we can just figure it out. Make sure we get all the different tiles in the right place. So, 14 pounds, 9 ounces. Subtract 9 pounds, 14 ounces. So we can line it up like this, like a subtraction problem, no problem. We have 9 minus 14, but I can't do that. In fact, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I can't do 9 minus 14. I can go over here and get some more ounces. That's what I need, more ounces. Now if I go over and take it and change it to 13 pounds, I'm borrowing a whole pound. And how many ounces are in a pound? That's right, it's 16. And if we take the 16 plus the 9, I'm going to get 25 ounces. So I have 25 ounces minus 14 ounces, and that will give me 11 ounces. See what I did? I brought 16 ounces over. When I cross it out, made 14 and a 13. Now I can do 13 minus 9, and that's 4 pounds. So let me see here. Do I have... It doesn't say I have to use all of these things. I put my 13 in there. I have my 25 in there. And I used 4. And I used 11. 5 and 39. I don't know what that's all about. Apparently, I don't have to use all the tiles. But the fact is, um, we wrote the numbers that made the correct subtraction. After she makes the potato salad, she's going to have 4 pounds 11 ounces left over. Sabita, number 10. Sabita made this table to relate, to relate two customary units of liquid volume. Oh. List the number pairs for the table, then describe the relationship between the numbers in each pair. This is one of those ones where we have we have two mystery numbers up here. They're not numbers, they're measurements. We have a 1 to 2 correlation. It's doubling from this column to this column. And we are definitely talking about liquid volume. So you might want to think about Gallon Man when you do that one. On your own. Yes, on your own. You guys can do that one. This is a fresh lesson in your head, too. And that says label the columns for part B on the table. Explain your answer. I think I kind of already answered some of it for you because it says describe the relationship between the numbers in each pair. I think it has something to do with about multiplying by 2. Column 2 is twice as much as 1. Then you get to put the columns on it. You label the columns on the table. Awesome. Nice. You'll be able to talk about that with me during our live Zoom session. Hey, this is a plug to come to the live Zoom session. Live Zoom sessions with me are good times. Edit. Markup. New page, new color. I'm making my own. None of this crazy business the colors are giving me. I make my own colors. Thank you very much. I'm going to use purple. Yeah. All right, here we got Think Smarter. The table shows, hey, be glad I didn't give you the Think Smarter one to do on your own there, kiddos. The table shows the distances some students swam in miles. Complete the line plot to show the data. I love line plots. They didn't ask us to make a tally table, though. You don't have to do a tally table. What do we got? What's our different measurements here? We got 1/8. Ooh, I'll just put them over here. I'm going to zoom in too. 1/8. And we have 2/8. And we have 3/8. Once you get this set up, it's going to be really easy. We also have 4/8. And do we have 5/8? We do have 5/8. And that's it. But how many of each? On a tally table, we'd use tally marks, but we're kind of cutting out the tally table here, and we're just going to go straight to the line plot. And so how many 1/8? I have 1. I'm going to cross them off as I go so I don't count them twice. Here's 2 1/8, and that's all I see. So this guy gets 2 X's. And 2/8, I have 1 of those. 2 of those. Geez, I only have 2 of those. It's going to look just like the 1/8. 3/8, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm way up in the words here. 4/8, there's 2 of those. No, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's the first one that had 3. And then 5/8 is only 1. Look at that. It is almost like a bar graph. If you put bars around them, you'd have a bar graph here, wouldn't you? Those 2 are the same. This one's 4, and this one's 3, and this one's 1. It's just like a bar graph. Pretty cool. So what is the difference between the longest distance and the shortest distance the students swam? Well, the longest distance is 5/8. The shortest distance is 1/8. So that's a pretty easy subtraction problem. 5/8 minus 1/8 is 4/8. 4/8 of a mile. That's a half mile, kids. That's a half mile to you and me. 4/8 simplifies to a half. Pretty cool. And you know what? Number 12 marks the point where Mr. Perry's going to take over and do the rest of the review with you. And remember, kids, we do have a few I expect you to have done for the live Zoom meeting that we're going to go over the ones that I asked you to do. So that wraps up my section. I got to be honest, I think my section is harder than the ones that Mr. Perry is going to do. I went ahead and I volunteered. I said, hey, I'm going to do 1 to 11. You do 12 to 22. I'm gonna go ahead and do the hardest ones. I think I did that. I think I did a fabulous job. So I'm gonna make sure this is saved too. Look at all this work we did. All the way back to Leon. Yeah, and we got gymnastics and we got some some ones that you have to do. Good times. So I will see you at the Zoom session today, or you'll see Mr. Perry at his Zoom session today to further talk about the fun things that we just did. See you later.